Hey there, guys. I know I haven't made a video in a very long time, but this is just a re-upload, and mainly because the original audio for the original video, it was you can't hear it too well, and I got a new microphone in, so I decided to sort of fix that. But more or less, I made the original video when TemTem was in its beta launch, and a lot of people were playing it, and you know more or less, people said it was supposed to compete with Pokemon, but long story short, it didn't really do that. And I personally believe that it didn't really compete with Pokemon because it didn't really hit its, you know, target audience or target demographic as well as it should have because of the designs. As you can see right here, this is the original or official designs, for some of the Temtem. And when you look at this, like if you played Pokemon for such a very very long time, this isn't what you want to see. You know, like what you want to see is something more like this, as opposed to something like this. You know, and the main, I guess the main thing being that Temtem's designs they fail a lot because of just a few minor design choices. Going as far as the teeth, the eyes, and overall shapes. They opt for these more round and loose shapes as opposed to these like much more solid and sleek designs and shapes. And that's where Temtem largely fails. And when you compare something like this, to something as small as the teeth and the eyes, as said, entirely determines how it looks, in the end. And just something as minor as that, drastically changes the design. Exactly the same thing, minor changes, completely different, and it pulls the design over much, much better. If you play Pokemon or you've been around Pokemon for long enough, and even with that, it's not limited to just this one design. It's almost everything. And right here, this is again the official design. When you look at it, it looks nice, but when you compare it to something like this has more emotion. It feels a lot more alive. You feel more invested into this as opposed to this, because this feels lifeless. Feels soulless. But something like this, it brings more personality to something like this. Exact, and same thing, just minor changes here and there that pull the design together. Much much better. Just because minor changes. Giving it a pose and to make it feel more lifelike instead of stiff and unalive. It, Again, it's not just this. It's this as well. Just minor changes. To again teeth and eyes. When you look at this, you don't really think bug. Of course, it looks like a bug, but when you take away all of the other features, again, you don't really think bug. All you see is this green little ball with legs and big eyes. But when you change the eyes, change the teeth, and you take everything else away, you still think of it as a bug because your mind already automatically recognizes, such designs to be one thing or another. Because without the wings and the antenna, you still say, oh, this is a bug because the mouth and the eyes. And it extends further beyond that, just minor changes again, just with the eyes. This is what this design looks like officially. Right here, the eyes look like so, but it looks too ridiculous. When you play Pokemon for such a long time, it kind of looks ridiculous because you're always going to automatically go for what you believe looks the coolest or best. Sure, there are people that like such designs, but personally, like, changing it like this ever so slightly, like it holds the design over much better. I mean, with this one, we've had Chikorita and it looks very, very similar to it, but still, you know, minor change still looks great and it pulls way better into, the next, I guess, form, evolution. It just holds much better and, as I said, I personally believe TemTem would have done better if, their designs held over, much more. Or if their designs were overall more solid, I guess, instead of being too all over the place through just, minor decisions such as eyes and mouth. Sometimes even, I guess, sometimes even claws and stuff, or poses, minor details like so. If, the, I guess if the artists that, did the designs, if they took the time to go over it, they probably would have done a whole lot better. I mean, that's just my opinion, though.